posts videos of himself
killing the screen. What up, brahs? Good afternoon, brahs, or morning, or whatever it is, brahs. Lunchtime, it's something. It might be nighttime. I don't know. Wow, thank you, RileysPowersports. We're always sponsoring this. Brahs, we're on the 36, and I was going to check the Gixxerbrah 1000 today, but to be honest, it's way more comfy riding the 36. One, because it's lighter. Two, because it's not near as fast. It's a lot harder to hang on to the 1000. Three, because, I don't know, my leg feels a little better on this than it does the 1000. I'm not sure why. I thought with the taller handlebars it would feel better, but it doesn't. It's something about the seat. I slide around the seat a lot. We're going to go meet up with Preston and eat, and then we're going to talk about this stuff, Preston. We're going to talk about things, Preston. All the stuff and things and stuff. The insurance stuff still has to settle. Go figure. But I'm just going to talk about what happened exactly. Or, not necessarily what happened, because I mean, it was pretty straightforward what happened.
I turn now.
I'm going to talk about where we were and where we're at, because we went from pretty much breaking down and crying, not being able to literally slide off of a bed to a wheelchair, to, you know, hobbling around now. And it took, you know, coming up 4 months now to do that. It was no small feat, brahs. I mean, there's plenty of y'all that have been really messed up in wrecks, you know, and, you know, so don't take this as I'm trying to say that nobody else has gone through it. I'm telling the story from what I dealt with and what lots of other brahs have already done. Got a little bit of this hand moving back. Check it out. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. Oh! 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 You see that? Y'all see that? When I first got on the freaking bike, that wrist would not move at all. So, the only way to give it gas is to do this. Now I can actually twist my wrist a little. See that? Progress! Yeah, so we're going to get into it, but I want to eat with Preston first, and then Preston will be able to film me a little too. We'll be putting in some work, you know. Maybe no red line coasters, but I mean, we could do some wheelies on this bike. Pretty decent now. I've officially been riding for a week? A week and a day? Yeah, a week and a day. So it'll be kind of fun to see the difference between my wheelies on the 1000 from the very first day of riding to the wheelies on the 636 a week later. Obviously I've been riding every day. It seems like I can ride most of the day, and then the next day I gotta like take a day and I sleep like 12 hours, 14 hours, somewhere in there. It just wears me out, and then my leg and hand kind of hurt the next day, wrist kind of hurt the next day, so I just need to like sleep and just let it kind of heal and not really do much on it, which sucks. But, you know, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. It's like, it's such a big progression from where we started, which is why I want to talk about it, because I complain constantly, because unless I'm like fully able to do what I can normally do, I don't feel that great. You know, I should feel really good. I should feel really good that I'm out here doing like this right now. But it's never enough for me, and that's my entire biking life. I've always been like this. It doesn't matter if I'm injured. I've always ridden, and then whatever I can't do, I don't like it, and I want to get better. That's how I feel like I've gotten as good as I've gotten on this thing. I'm never really satisfied with where I'm at currently, skill-wise, whether that be track or stunting or whatever. I just want to be the best there ever was.
No one ever was.
All right, so I'm gonna get some food with Preston, and then we'll head back out in the streets, and then we'll talk about from where we started, show you some cool pictures. Not the gory though, because stupid YouTube, they're so dumb. So they act like it's a child's platform or something. Anyway, I'll get back in a bit, Brez. All right, Brez, we're back. We got Upbeat Yamaha. He's a little guy right there, and then Upbeat, Preston's Upbeat. He's Upbeat. Act natural. Now, what on earth was that? I don't know what he's doing. Preston being inconspicuous. Good job, Preston. You're so inconspicuous right now. You're so sneaky. Oh, there's a doll in the back.
Take care of Andy for me!
Anyway, yeah, we just had him just riding around, just rode past me and Preston eating. And of course he recognized my bike. So now he's riding with us. He used to be a big famous YouTuber. Upbeat Yamaha. Put him up. Okay, so this is what happened, friends. We're gonna talk about what happened, right? So it was a beautiful day, right? And I got on my big boat bitty, and I was on my way to go to this meet, and I turned right on the street. So it's like an intersection like this, and you just turn right, you know, and then you go, and it's 2 lanes, and there's a center lane, like for turning, just like this. So as if this is 3 in the center, right? But it was 2 in the center. Oh, he wants to go get gas there. Stop sign.
What stop sign, man?
I turned right on that street, and about probably 15 feet past the light. So, you know, I go like that, and I go through that light.
It's too hot.
The beautiful, hot Texas winter day. It's awesome. I love it. T-shirt, baby. If you don't live in Texas, you're just missing out. Hiccups. So I turn right, and I go through the intersection, and then I don't remember anything.
Sorry.
In my memory, it just kind of phases out. I just remember doing that, and then it phases out. And then the next thing I remember is I woke up on the ground, just like in the worst pain. Well, I didn't just wake up, right? I thought I was dreaming. I started to open my eyes, and I'm looking around. I'm looking at the sky and like a little bit of a pickup truck, and like I'm just laying there, and I thought I was dreaming. So insert the audio clip. You hear me like moaning, screaming. It's because I was coming to, and I thought I was in a nightmare or something, and I was trying to wake up because I was hurting in the nightmare too, right? I thought I was laying on the ground in a nightmare. So I was like making this noise, kind of like you do when you try to wake yourself up from a nightmare. But then as I'm laying there, all of a sudden I realized that it wasn't a nightmare. Like, it was real, which was just crazy. I couldn't even wrap my head around it because I felt like I didn't remember anything. I felt like I just woke up. So I'm laying there on the ground, and I don't remember riding at all, like at that moment, right? I don't remember none of that. I remember the intersection now. So I'm laying there screaming. I finally realized that it's real life, and something happened, and I'm hurt. That's all I figured out. I'm laying there, and this really, really nice patron shows up. We're gonna start some of the clips, right? The GoPro flew off my helmet and started recording on the ground. One random patron, this guy that picked up the GoPro, God bless him, just saw it on the street, and he just backed up to it. Like, he went around it, backed up to it, picked it up and brought it over and stayed there until he made sure I got it, or, you know, somebody got it, like the firefighter guys or the ambulance guys or the cops or whatever. And then this guy, insert the guy that was sitting with me holding my hand, super nice guy, just talking to me, asking me how I feel, getting me to talk to him.
Keep looking at me, bro, okay? Alright, we got this. You're gonna be fine, buddy. They're gonna get you fixed up. Everything's gonna be alright, brother. We trying to keep the eyes open. Thank God for a helmet, huh, bud? Yes, sir. Yeah.
The sun was in my eyes, and he wanted me to look at it. I'm like, dude, I can't stand to see the sun right now. Like, the sun was hurting my eyes. I don't know. So his wife stood in the way of the sun and blocked the sun, so they just sat there with me until the ambulance guys showed up. Ambulance guys happened to be like 6 minutes down the road. So living in the gangster's paradise. He's jamming. So then once that happened, the ambulance guys were like 6 minutes away. So they were just there so fast. And for some reason, and I have paramedic buddies, and my paramedic buddy told me that he would immediately stab me with some forget-me drugs and stab me with some fentanyl, seeing me on the ground knowing that I just slammed in the side of the truck. But the guys from the firefighter house, the ambulance guys, they didn't feel the need. So all they did was just checked on me, made sure I could move my toes, which I could, which means it should have meant, you know, I had no, or at least it shows that I shouldn't have like a broken back or anything, because I can move my toes and stuff, but I couldn't move my legs. So then they grabbed me and literally yanked me onto the sliding board, which is probably like the worst pain ever. That hurt. I don't know if you ever had that happen, but it hurts. Mind your business. Preston, are you ready to go? Yeah, I'm waiting for you to start the bike. I told you I'm vlogging.
The story needs to wrap up. Let's go.
We can go. I'm talking and riding. The story needs to wrap up. Oh, anyway, they drug me on the board, and you talk about brahs. I didn't remember the accident itself, right? But I remembered everything past that point. Every single thing past that point, and everything hurt so bad. When you break like all that stuff, and then they just drag you and move you. Oh my gosh, it hurt. It hurts so bad. Ain't nothing hurt like that. I mean, I've broken things, you know, I've broken my leg, I've broken collarbones, hands and stuff. And, you know, it hurts, you know, but I can deal with it and just go about my business. But, dude, that stuff, oh, just, it's like almost unbearable. Oh, he's killing it. Almost straight up unbearable. Ooh, that new tire is wobbling on it, boy. Almost straight up unbearable. Like, it was crazy how bad it hurt. sometimes I like to relish in the pain a little bit. You know, they call me a weirdo or whatever, but the way I see it is that we live a life of such comfort that none of us really suffer all that much. So whenever I suffer, I try to enjoy it because it's a rarity. It's something that I don't have to deal with. But man, it was really hard to enjoy that. I ain't gonna lie, it was hard to enjoy that. That stuff hurt so bad. It hurt so bad that it kept me up. I get to the hospital. It took 3 different days to do the surgeries I need, and then it was 3 for this leg, 1 for this, and then the hands they just wrapped up. It did end up showing that I broke my neck, but it was a perfect break and it put itself back together. So it wasn't like off-centered, the bones separated and then went back together. So they left me in a neck brace just for like 3 weeks, and then they said, you're gonna go. I was like, okay. They didn't, you know, chop all this out. Anyway, 3 days go by. I finally get all these surgeries. There's all those pictures, and then I'm just in excruciating pain, and they just could not control my pain. I guess there was just too much wrong with me in too many different places. So for the whole week and a couple days that I was in the hospital on the emergency side, I couldn't sleep. It got to where anytime I would shut my eyes, I would see like the most gory, horrific horror movie stuff because I was like hallucinating, and all I felt was pain. So all I would see is just like kind of like my imagination of, oh, killer. I mean, it was so bad that I had to like reach out to a friend and his family to like pray over me via, you know, big distance, right? But I needed it to go away. It was making it. I was getting scared to like shut my eyes, which is crazy, you know, because I need to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. Shut my eyes, all I'd see is like horrific stuff going on behind my eyes, just gore and guts and blood, and just it was crazy. It was like I was like being tortured by demons almost, but it had to do with just the amount of pain I was in and the fact that I hadn't slept, so I was kind of like hallucinating a little bit. Actually, after they prayed over it, the next day it went away and I stopped having that issue, but it still took a while for me to be able to sleep. It was quite common for me to sleep like an hour at a time for at least a couple weeks after the incident. Then I go to rehab, right? By the time I got to rehab, I was you know, almost a 225 pound, been gymming real hard for like 4 months. So I was pretty stout at this point, eating like crazy. I'd eat 4 times a day. Like I was doing pretty good. I get to rehab and it's only been maybe a week and a half, or closing into 2 weeks, right? I have no limbs to use, so I can't use my hands. All I can use is my elbows and this one leg. That's all I could use because this one leg got bolted up and they said it was good to walk on, like it doesn't even need to heal. My weight is all in the titanium rod in here. By the time I got to rehab, I was limited to like, I could use my elbows right and use this one leg, but I had nothing. I had no strength at all. Like it was crazy. I was so weak that sitting up in the bed like took everything I had. We did our first PT. It took everything for me to sit up, slide my legs off the bed, and then sit on this board. Those that have been to rehab and messed up, you know what I'm talking about, the board, the infamous board, and slide down the board into the wheelchair. That was what we did for the first day of BT, and I cried like a baby because it hurt so bad. And it's kind of a hard reality to realize how absolutely useless and weak you are. You're like a dog at this point. Like the only way I'm gonna get anywhere or make anything happen is if people take care of me. Like I have no ability to do it myself, bathroom or anything, like nothing. Just emotionally, that's just a train wreck of feelings. Like it doesn't feel good as a man. I like the ability to help myself just fine and help others, and at that point I'm at the mercy of others. Like I can't do anything. I'm just stuck in bed. Got the wheelchair, and then they helped drag me back on the bed, which was just hell. Yeah, man, just remembering it's so horrible. We were so bad that it took everything just to slide my butt down into a wheelchair, and then couldn't even get back on the bed. Had to help me do it. Chris says cop, but I don't know where. Oh, way up there. Oh, settle down. Chris such a goober, wanting to wheelie and stuff. No, chill. Adam's gonna be like, where'd I go? Alright, so after that first day, that was just horrible. And then ever since that day, everything got a little bit better. But it still took, I don't know, I think it was 2 weeks before I was able to like stand. And even then, it took everything I had just to stand up.
Next step from here is try and lift your chest.
We're being drawn to the light like fireflies. Always so bright.
It just took everything I had. I went from leg pressing with both the legs like 600 pounds to doing like 25, 30 pounds with one leg was the best I could do. Man, it is such a harsh reality. I can't get over how hard that was mentally just to deal with the fact that I couldn't do anything. It just sucks. I hate that. I hate feeling helpless. But past that day, you know, it just got better. It's just really slowly. It got better and better and better. It got a little stronger, did a little more. Yeah, like before I left rehab, I was able to get on that one assisting walker thing that like lifts. It's like powered. It lifts up, so it can start down low and then I can lean into it and then like kind of lift it up and then I kind of try to stand with it. I got to where I could use that, and I did like a half a lap around this top floor of this rehab place. That was the best I got, and then I went home. Took a plane ride home. It was horrible. Front row seats, but I still couldn't lay this leg out all the way, so I had to like keep it in the aisle and stuff, and it was just so uncomfortable, and just it was horrible. And I was on blood thinners too because they're worried about blood clots. Something about going up high altitude is increased risk, so then I had to think about that, which was scary. They put me on some serious blood thinners so that by the time I got on the plane, it'd be fine. I get home, I can successfully like use a wheelchair to kind of get around a little bit, but it's only by pushing with my one foot because I can't use my hands. And then I could use a walker just barely. So I got on the walker when I got home, and the biggest sprinting marathon felt like of my life. I used the walker as soon as I got home to walk her from my bed to the bathroom, which was probably only 10-15 feet. And it took everything I had just to do that. And then back to the bed, and then I laid there panting for like 30 minutes. It's crazy to me how bad it was, all the way up to even when I got home. Every day I just kept forcing myself to do it, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And that's how you get better at anything, brahs, even down to just wheelies, right? Doesn't matter how bad it is, as long as you're physically able to do a little bit right, you just keep doing it and do more. That's what I did. I just kept going. I finally got cleared to actually like fully walk, and as soon as I got cleared to walk, I left the walker. I shouldn't even have done that, because if you watch me, I had like this ridiculous limp. Like I could not just go anywhere. I had this huge freaking limp. But I'm stubborn, you know. It's like, I'm cleared to walk, I'm gonna freaking learn how to walk, and I still can't walk. And that was almost 4 weeks ago, and I just now got to where I can like halfway walk at a normal walk speed. I just got a little limp. And I also used my right hand a lot, pushing down on the wheelchair or the bed to kind of move myself, so I'd make a fist and move, which is why this hand didn't heal, and that's why I had to have surgery on it, which also led to why it's so stiff now and can't really bend it hardly, because it stayed in a cast for so long, versus this one didn't. This one stayed half the time, and that's why it's like pretty much good to go already. And this one will be a month or two before it gets back to like, see how I want to move my whole arm. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that happened. I mean, there's so much in the middle, and just so much more tiny little not goals, what do you call it, tiny little steps.
Just don't fall.
No, not falling is, it's just hard to like, this leg just doesn't feel strong.
Yeah, because you haven't used it in 3 months. It's definitely going to take a bit for it to like
Learning curve.
feel
just
normal again.
pushing.
Sorry.
Okay,
Baby's
so
first steps.
oh goodness. That's for the handicap placard. Awesome.
You know, it got a little bit better here, a little bit better there, but just so I understand the baseline of where I was to where I am now, just so you kind of get an idea. It was bad, guys. It was really bad, but it still is bad. I still have a ways to go. It's just in comparison to where I started, it's nothing. Like I'm doing great compared to how it was from the get-go. So I really don't have anything. I have nothing to complain about. I'm happy about it all, and I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be back on the bike, and slowly but surely I'm gonna just keep rebuilding myself, and I'll get back to where I can fully get around and not be limping anymore, and not struggle to get on the bike and everything else. Get back to killing the streets the way I like it. Wait, this way? That way. That way. This highway's confusing now. Used to be you go this way to go that way, but now you go this way to go this way. Oh, he's chopping it. Anyway, brahs, that's where we was. That's where we is. We're not gonna be here forever, brahs. We're gonna get better. God bless all of y'all and y'all's also recoveries. I got tons of DMs from guys that were also laid up, had surgeries on the way, had, you know, rehab they're working on, still trying to get limbs back. Some that have been out before me and we're still not walking, you know. Some had way worse injuries or complications. I saw one of the brahs had something that got infected and then almost killed him and stuff, like crazy. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm gonna do my best be a little while. The videos might be like once a week for a while, or forever, I don't know. At the moment, it's definitely gonna be once a week until I can like really get in good shape to like be able to ride more often. Anyway, love y'all. I'm out of here.
YouTube page continues to post videos of himself speeding